Welcome to the Southern Spirits Podcast. I have the pleasure today of having Tyler Clark on the podcast today. Tyler has worked at Southern Spirits for
all in, I'd say 3 years,
almost 3 years.
something like that.
He joined us
Only 2.5.
for 3 years. You joined us when?
Heck, I don't know. Let's see. I got married in 21, so I joined you in probably 20.
Middle of COVID.
I think it was coming towards the end of COVID because I was looking to just like take a break and I was like, dude, put me behind a register. Like, I just want to like chill out and relax for a little bit.
What business did you come from?
I came from a fencing business. I did a lot of custom gates, and utilized my background in it, but my whole background's a welding and fabrication base.
So you go welding, fabrication, fencing to liquor store. What do you like best?
I'll always love welding. It's something that, few people have a chance to say they're like truly gifted at something, and I'd like to say I was very gifted at fabrication. So welding and fabrication, two totally different things, but fabrication is everything in one, and it's something I was really good at.
Is there anything super dope you ever fabricated?
Oh, several things. I built stuff for, I did piping for nuclear and gas. I built stuff for Bell Helicopter Industries in Texas. I'd say the coolest thing I ever built, I was working for Steel Fab up in Charlotte. That was why I moved up this way. I got a call. And at the time, I didn't have anything going on. But I welded together one of two main structure points for like a 14-story hotel building sitting over a railway station.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't tell you where it was going, but it was the steel that I was welding on was like 5.5 inches thick, and it was I-beam, and it stood like 6 foot tall. And I had a piece coming into it, and the whole time, because of how thick it was, the material, everything around it had to be at least 300 degrees. So I basically had to prime the metal to accept the weld so it doesn't end up cracking or splitting or anything like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it took me 24 hours on the dot, and I put like 100 pounds of wire into it doing flux core. It had to be UT tested, which is an ultrasound test for welding, like 3 different times through the process. That was probably the coolest thing. Like to this day, I love that. That was awesome.
What a trip.
It really was. It was cool.
God.
I had some fun times.
All right, so you've been at Southern Spirits for 3 years. How has everything changed from the time you started? What did you drink? Now what do you drink? How did your drinking change? How has your view of alcohol changed?
Man, like everything has completely changed. I really didn't drink beforehand before I came to Southern. Not saying like I'm drinking a lot now, but like I've learned to respect liquor, and especially whiskey or bourbon, and then I'm like moving really into tequila and rum and like that mezcal. And so like my drinking has completely changed. I went from, if I was drinking something, it was like some whiskey I didn't know anything about mixed with Dr. Pepper or Lunazol mixed with Dr. Pepper or something like that. Like other than that, it was beer or just weird little like sex on the beach shooters and stuff like that. Like I just,
To the name.
yeah, I didn't understand anything to do with liquor, and I wasn't a big drinker, and I'm still not, but I love certain spirits, and I've had the chance to really educate myself with it and learn about them. And yes, some of them are just absolutely delicious, but the history behind it and where it comes from is really the big picture for me. So that I've taken that to a whole new level, and I've been able to like really develop my palate for certain things and be able to communicate about it on a level that I didn't understand whatsoever. And honestly, I thought people were joking and full of it. When you see someone take a sip of bourbon or something like that, and they're like, oh, it tastes like cherries or whatever, I was just like, this person's ridiculous.
Now you can find it.
Now I can understand it. And it was quite an experience, and I'm still like on a big journey to educate myself with it, but it's a lot of fun. It really is.
That's 3 years, gone that far. Do you have a favorite right now?
Honestly,
Favorite product, I guess.
not just a favorite bomb or well,
You can go bottle. It's fun.
yeah. Honestly, my favorite, well, for ever be. I think the Russell's 10.
Favorite.
So
Nice.
I love selling it to people, and I've never had someone come back and being like, "Oh, that was a terrible recommendation,"
Like,
because it's a great neutral bottle for anyone. Like I've had women come in or whoever looking for a gift, and they don't know anything about what this person drinks other than bourbon. And I think it signifies it signifies everything I love about bourbon, but I think it hits pretty much the majority of drinkers' palates like perfectly. It's 90 proof, but yet it's bold and savory and smooth and sweet all at the same time. I describe it as a big caramel bomb.
I love it.
But it's my favorite, hands down.
What's your role here at Southern Spirits now?
I'm a little bit everywhere, and it's hard for people to keep track of me because of that. So, I mean, if we're busy and I'm needed on the floor, I help on the floor. I of course am checking in trucks Wednesdays and Thursdays, helping stock and stuff afterwards. If anything breaks or needs built, I generally take care of it if I'm capable. And then, especially with you and your dad, y'all have had a lot of stuff in y'all's individual lives personally that I've been able to have the chance to help y'all with certain things and aspects and make y'all's life easier in a sense.
Absolutely. If somebody were to get in the liquor business of this size, right? You've now been at 3 years. You've seen a lot of the different aspects. Can you describe how is it super easy just to run a liquor store, or is there a lot of moving aspects a lot of people aren't paying attention to? Or I mean, I guess because a lot of times people listening to this might either be in the industry, want to get in the industry, or just be curious about what is it like to be deep in the liquor business. And so you've been at 3 years inside of a pop-in liquor store. I say pop and just busy, right? High volume. What are people not seeing that really has to happen for this to work?
Honestly, from my view of it, I think a liquor store is a double-edged sword, because on one hand you have a group of people, and they're not necessarily wrong. Is the stuff sells itself, unless you're in a 10-mile radius with 10 different liquor stores or something like that. I mean, it sells itself, but at the same point, if you don't feed it and give it what it needs, it's not going to flourish like this has. Like, there are so many moving parts in your store. It's absolutely insane, and how it gets upkept and pushed through and how it grows is just incredible. Like the social department or the online stuff. I mean, that has grown tremendously, and y'all done an amazing job with it, and it's helped in a lot of ways. But I mean, and not to mention the relationships people build here. I think that is a huge part of it. For one, is, I mean, you can walk into several liquor stores anywhere in the country and really not have anybody approach you or sit there and talk to you, try to get to know you, try to help you make a really good decision on something, or if anything, just make sure you're not looking for anything particular to help your time just in and out and get down the road to where you need to be. And because you walk into a lot of places, and I mean, it's not there anymore, but you walk into Southern Spirits, I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is 5 people are going to come up to you in a couple minutes and make sure that you've got everything you need, make sure you don't need any help with whatever. I mean, we carry out stuff for people all the time. I mean, we try to help in any way we can. And it's that relationship that I definitely think goes a long way.
Now, you taking care of a lot of the fixing things. Do you ever not have something to do?
Oh, there's always something to do. I mean,
it's an old building, so that's part of the reason there's a lot to do.
But it's also a good thing in a sense. So, like I said, there's so many moving parts that play along with this, to where priorities get shifted around, and it may be difficult sometimes. But if you can't keep up, it's going to show.
Yeah,
and so
it's seasonal too.
Yeah, I feel like everything runs pretty smooth, and we do a good job with changing and adapting to everything that's happening, and especially reaching out to people in the area. And I mean, people out of the area. I see people all the time in there that once a month, older couples, they'll drive 3 hours to come to the store to just resupply, and they're like, we won't go anywhere else. This is our store.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. You don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah, they're not doing that for Walmart.
And I think that's where it's the double-edged sword. Is, yes, it sells itself, but you have taken it to a completely different level. And
we have. It's all of it.
It's a big team.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we're definitely a big family here. Honestly, this is the best place I've ever worked. The connection I've had with everybody, the connection everybody has with each other and understands and helps out. And it's really cool.
I love that.
It's really cool.
Even if I believe you're being honest, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know why we don't wear uniforms? Have we ever talked about that?
I want to say you've told me this once before, but I really can't remember.
So we're way overstaffed compared to a typical business this size. So the typical liquor store that's a little less than 15,000 square feet might have 8 to 12 employees, depending on the day. We have about 26 employees. We don't wear uniforms because people, and I get this, it's a double-edged sword, right? So customers will go, hey, Drew, I wish you'd give your employees tags or uniforms or something so I can see who it is, because I don't know who the employees and who the customers are. And that's the goal, because it actually makes it a lot harder for somebody casing the store, or they might have some ill intent with the store. They don't know who's an employee, who's not. They don't know what's happening, what's not. All of a sudden, they might be wanting to do some steal or theft or whatever. And all of a sudden, hey, can I help you? They're like, whoa, who is this? So that's actually the reason why we don't wear uniforms. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I feel like I kind of remember you telling me, but it just didn't stick. But I mean, I completely agree with that. I think that's a great idea.
You've gone on how many trips for Southern Spirits?
Well, to like spirits wise, just one.
Yeah, alcohol.
Yeah, just the Penelope trip, that last Penelope trip.
Did you like it?
Oh, that was awesome. And I've loved Penelope since they've started releasing stuff. And that's been one of the things that I've been able to educate myself about. And so it was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the most glamorous place in the world, but they were more about the quality of their product, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah. I thought it was so cool that you made a random comment that is now being implemented in their nationwide distribution.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We won't tell anybody what it is right now because we want to honor the secret. But yeah, it's just so cool how you can just be like, you didn't make that comment to make money. You didn't make that comment to try to anything other than to better their brand. And literally they're going to implement it within the next few weeks nationwide.
Yeah, and I know that they're like moving forward with it, and I could care less about anything like that. I'm happy for them. I mean, that's awesome.
I'll definitely encourage guys to be like, hey, make sure a random bottle of Rio shows up though for
I wouldn't be too upset with that.
Yeah, no, that
wouldn't be too upset.
That's so funny. Well, Tyler, I just want to give some people insight on what it's like to work at a liquor store. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell somebody about working in a liquor store, whether they're looking to apply to a liquor store, start a liquor store, already run a liquor store, anything else?
Honestly, I mean, the only thing when it comes to, like, it's not even working at a liquor store. If you're not willing to take pride in your work, I mean, your work's going to show it. So,
yeah, and just so the viewers know, literally anything in this store that's made out of wood.
The room turned out really cool.
Yeah, Tyler built the vault, which we'll do an overview video of the vault. I guess we've done that a million times.
I wish we had the before picture.
Do you have that list?
Which list?
The list of all the work that you've done. Is that on your phone?
No, it's not on my phone.
I mean, what was that? 200 items or something?
I haven't touched it in a little bit, but I want to say I was already at like 180 things or something like that.
Yeah, all items of simple updates to continuously make the consumer think, oh, this is updated. This is a nicer store. They take pride in their stuff. So, yeah, great job with your woodwork. Tyler, we'll talk again soon.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.